Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to Talk Gaming. I'm the Seventh Sword, and I'm here with Brallus, who's over there.
That's me!
Really? Doing the Mario thing?
Yeah.
Actually, you met the voice actor for Mario. That was cool.
I did twice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
once
pretty
at
sweet.
E3 and once at Comic-Con.
I saw him from a distance when we were at E3. I was like,
Yeah.
is that the Mario guy? And you came back, you're like, that was the Mario guy. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah. And then I hunted him down. I think I was at E3 when you were there. And then I think that's when I separated. I'm like, I'm going to go find him and I'm going to meet him. And then you guys were like, oh, I'm going to do our thing over here. I'm like, I'm going to track him down. And I had to wait outside of like the private Nintendo like booth that they had or whatever for him to come out. And then I was like, hey, over here. And then I got a photo with him and talked to him. He's a cool guy. Anyway, go ahead, Rich. Sorry. Fucked your intro up.
Well, no. It's fine. That was pretty much the intro. But,
Yeah.
Today, obviously, we're going to talk about something that's been very important that's going on over in Germany. Something very, 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 very big. And that's the Autobahn.
The Autobahn. Oh, yeah, the Autobahn. Yeah.
The Autobahn, yeah. No, Gamescom.
Gamescom, yeah.
Gamescom
is going on right now. It's I think it goes all the way till Friday, but they got the major E3-like presentations out of the way. So we want to kind of go over those. Did you get a chance to catch them all?
There's so much stuff. I'm trying to catch up on it. There's so Gamescom is bigger than E3 now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's always been bigger than E3 and I just didn't know it. But I mean, since obviously it takes place in Europe, it's kind of hard to, follow that. But so many cool things were announced and so many games. Crazy.
Yeah, man, I really like Gamescom actually. I think it's I honestly think, this Gamescom was pretty good. I think it smashed E3, honestly. It smashed anything E3 had to bring, except for Keanu Reeves. Yeah.
Keanu Reeves, best
Keanu Reeves,
E3.
Yeah. But for the stuff that they revealed, it was pretty good. I think a lot of developers something I noticed was that I think it seems like a lot of developers learned their lesson because most of the release dates are 2020. You notice that?
Yeah.
None of them are trying to force anything in 2019. So I think a lot of developers realize that, the crunch and all that stuff is not paying off for, developers making games like Anthem, etc. So it looks like they're learning their lesson, which is pretty cool. But it started off with your favorite, Rich, Nintendo. So what did you think of Nintendo Showcase? Did you catch it?
Oh, so I didn't watch the whole showcase. I caught up on the games that they announced, but I saw Jeff Keighley's opening presentation thing.
Yeah. So we'll get to that. That was the last one.
Yeah. So, but I saw that one. But so there's some really cool indie games coming out on the Switch that are really, really sweet looking. Oh, what was the name of that one off the top of my head? Do you know which one I'm talking about? Eastbound. Or no, Eastward?
No, Eastward.
Is it Eastbound or is it Eastward? It reminded me of Earthbound because I was like, "Is it Earth?" But then I looked into it. And
I know what you're talking about. I don't.
Yeah.
Of it, though.
It looks pretty sweet. But oh my goodness, they showed a lot of gameplay of Astral Chain too.
Yeah.
I'm picking that
up. Look out for that.
Oh yeah,
Rich is gonna be all over that shit.
I'm gonna be streaming that day one.
Seventh Sword.
August 30th. Yeah. I'll be
That's
streaming
the Seventh
at some point.
Game for sure. Risk of Rain 2 is coming to Switch, which is pretty cool. Risk of Rain 2 is that roguelike
I saw
co-op game. I thought about picking that up for PC, but I have a backlog, obviously, like most of us do right now.
Everybody does.
So I haven't gotten to it yet, but I heard it's really good. And so I want to check out Risk of Rain 2. Probably get it for Switch because it looks like a really good portable game to play, which is pretty awesome. So I'm excited for that. There's a game. Did you see the game called The Tourist? It's spelled different. It's like TOURYST. It's like that. No. It looks like kind of like blocky Minecraft looking characters, but it's a 3D world. Like
blocky
it looks like a
Minecraft character.
No, it's not a Minecraft game. It's got like a weird art style. It's like if you Google it right now, The Tourist it's YST. Yeah, it's spelled obviously and then tourist, but it's spelled RYST, not RIST. And it's got like a really cool art style. It's like an 8-bit characters, but 3D 8-bit. And it reminded me a lot of Fez. If you ever played Fez, that's my favorite indie game ever made.
I see. It looks kind of like Legos, actually.
Yeah, they're like weird. They're like Lego 8-bit people, like mixed with Minecraft. But it's weird. But it was like a fully 3D game, and you go to all these different environments, and it just looked really cool. I'm really excited for that game. It looks like a really good, fun Switch game. And then Torchlight 2's coming. Yeah.
Torchlight 2.
Made by the developers of Diablo 1 and 2.
Yeah,
I actually have it on PC,
so that's
and it's
exciting.
really good. So it's a good portable game too.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've heard from them. Torchlight's a bit old now, right? So
yeah. And then Skater XL. Yeah,
I love saw Skate. That Skater XL. They're going for like a realistic skate game, but I mean it's on the Switch, so how photorealistic is it going to be?
I don't know. It looked a little rough. It didn't look. We'll see. It looked a little rough around the edges, but we'll see.
The Switcher 3.
It's good. The Switcher 3 again. Go on, Rich. I'm gonna let you. Sing your song and dance.
They were like, you could tell, like this. I like this trailer because it's just like it's The Witcher on the Switch. You know, they didn't try to make it look fancy. They didn't try to make it look anything that it wasn't. It's just The Witcher 3 on the Switch, and obviously it's downscaled because the Switch isn't as powerful. But it's an impressive technical feat all the same that you can play The Witcher on the go in your hand. That's awesome. You know.
Yeah. Well, Digital Foundry did a breakdown of it, and it looks like, I don't know how the fuck they did it, but that game looks on point on Switch. It looks obviously like a Switch game, like it's downgraded a little bit, but for how it looks and how vast the game is and everything it has to offer, it runs beautifully on the Switch.
Right, that's very very impressive. So that's
CD
cool.
Projekt Red, man, they were just pulling all the hits out.
Right, and then
doing everything right.
Imagine the future, you know, where handheld games will look like The Witcher 3 on PC in your hand. You know, it'd be crazy. Yeah. Crazy. So what else, Nintendo? Is there anything that you want to mention still from Nintendo?
No, I mean those are my highlights. My highlights. For the most part, it's a port machine. You know.
I mean, I like I like all the indie attention it's getting. I like a lot of developers are able to put their game on the Switch, and that's really really cool. So
yeah, and I think a lot of people know our stance, or definitely my stance on indies versus AAA at this point.
It depends on the AAA game, but I mean, and there's a lot of.
I like that the indies are stepping up and getting some more shout outs now than the bigger titles, which is awesome.
Right.
But next was the Inside Xbox. Did you watch that?
Inside Xbox. Well,
Inside Xbox.
We saw Gears,
and then more Gears,
and then a lot of Gears. There's a lot of Gears.
There. It's the fifth Gears.
Was there Gears of War though? There was Gears.
No, it's not Gears of War. It's Gears 5.
Oh, Gears of 5 War. Got it. And then and then there was Gears Pop.
Yeah, Gears Pop.
Gears Pop. And then
I posted a tweet about that actually, about how hard it seems like they're pushing Gears Pop. Like Gears they're Pop. Like really like, guys, remember Gears Pop is here. Remember Gears Pop.
Was the Darksiders game part of Microsoft?
That was Stadia. They mentioned it as
Stadia.
First on Stadia. Well, we'll get to that in a second.
Okay. So I'm getting confused. I looked up a bunch of recap of stuff, so you know it's tough. But
this podcast, let's give a shout out to our sponsors. This podcast is sponsored by the overly sized mug, as usual.
Yeah. It's not that overly sized.
Rich, I have a big head. Remember, I'm 6'2". This is a big mug.
No, but have you seen Last Week Tonight with John Oliver? He's got a Reese's mug. That mug is huge. It's like
Is that a talk show?
It's like this big. He just holds it up. He's like,
damn it.
Yeah. So you got some competition.
That was gonna be my thing. Inside Xbox, it was they pretty much showed stuff that we had already seen on E3, and it wasn't anything that special. They did some deep dives, like they dove into a game that I'm actually really excited for. I'll probably end up getting on Switch, but Empire of Sin, that XCOM Mafia type game. Remember the with the Tommy guns.
Yeah,
the guys like in the bar, and it had the sweet music. It looks really cool. I'm excited for that. And John Romero came out. I thought that was pretty cool. And what was kind of depressing was John Romero is the guy who like basically invented Wolfenstein 3D in the first person shooter. Like he's one of the pioneers of the first person shooter genre. Like he was involved with Quake, Wolfenstein, all those games. And he came out, and the Xbox people were like, guys, John Romero. And everyone was just kind of like, I'm like, dude, this guy's a fucking legend. This is like bringing out LeBron James.
People don't know names.
People don't
of
know.
Game developers.
I'm like, what? Like this
people
guy's
only
a legend.
know.
Like when they brought him out, I was
studios.
like, oh shit. I was like, is that the John Romero? And I Googled it. And I was like, is that him? And I Googled it, and I was like, that is John Romero. They brought out the John Romero because there was like no reception for him. And I was like, damn, dude, these kids nowadays don't even know, Rich.
They don't.
Know.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, people just assume like, oh, it's Bungie. Oh, it's 343. Oh, it's Square Enix. And it's just like somehow they associate that name with one person. Oh, it's, and I was like, that guy Bungie made the game.
Yeah, I was like, dude, John Romero is John Romero. Like I used to follow that guy, him and John Carmack from 3D Realms. You know, like back in the day, they made Duke Nukem and they made Quake, and then they made fucking Wolfenstein, Doom. Like he was one of the pioneers. Anyway, Empire's Sin looked really cool. I'm really excited for that game. I'm not a huge fan of turn-based games, but I really like the Mutant Year Zero game. I haven't played XCOM. Shame on me, but I'm just picky with my turn-based types of games. But I love that era, that like Mafia type era. I love the Mafia games and stuff, and I like John Romero, so I'm definitely going to be picking that game up for sure. That looked exciting. And then Gears 5, it seemed like
it's Gears 5.
Correct me if I'm mistaken, but it seems like it feels like Microsoft doesn't really have anything to show. Like that's like whoa, you know what I mean? And they're really, really pushing Gears 5. Like they're trying to like market and promote that game so hard to a crowd that just doesn't really care. Does that make sense? Like it seems they're pushing so hard for Gears 5, but people are just kind of like, it's not. It's just nah, you know?
Right.
Like
it's gonna be fun. We're gonna get it.
Yeah.
We're gonna play it. But I mean, is it really doing anything new with Gears? It's just it's interesting to see like how innovative Gears of War was when it originally launched, and then you see what it's turned into as it's changed hands a few times and stuff like that. But it's I don't know. I mean, they added in what Ultimates or something like that for the Horde mode or whatever, and it's just there's some
stuff like. I mean, there's some cool stuff that they're doing to push it forward, like the weird mode where you have to escape, like I forget what it's called, the escape mode, where you have to like get from point A, like kind of like Left 4 Dead, you got to get from point A to point B with your crew, and then escape out of the level. But there's some cool stuff to it. But it's just like I think it's just a tired genre, the cover shooter type game like that. And there's been so many Gears games like 1, 2, 3, Judgment, 4.
They're adding in new modes. That's one thing, but the gameplay is virtually the same.
Yeah, I think
you cover, shoot, the reload mechanic, and I get that's all part of it, but you're not really building on those kinds of things, you know?
Yeah, it just feels like the Gears 5 formula is just kind of burnt out, which is, I mean, it's gonna be. I'm gonna play it. We both have Game Pass, and I'd probably end up buying it anyway, just because I play everything, and we have to do reviews and stuff. But I mean, it looks great. But I think there's something. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't show any Halo, anything. They didn't even talk about it. They didn't even mention Halo.
Because it's not ready. You know? There's been no gameplay for it. All we've seen is cutscenes.
Well, what about the gameplay video from E3? Where they showed Master Chef for a second, and then the guy.
That's not gameplay. That's not gameplay.
I thought they touted it as gameplay. They're like, oh, it's the first reveal.
I don't know. It was a cinematic trailer. It was a cinematic trailer or whatever. We haven't really seen any actual gameplay. But back to Gears really quick, because that's one genre, for example, that is kind of doing more of the same and playing it safe and adding in like new modes and stuff, but kind of not doing anything drastic. Whereas God of War was a franchise that had, it had a formula, and then they just changed it with the newest one.
Like for the better.
For the better. Exactly. That's a good example of taking a risk, changing your gameplay style. Like a lot of the moves, like he has a lot of similar moves and stuff with a certain weapon, but it's all from a different perspective now. The way you actually execute them is a little bit different. And then you have like the axe and everything too. Like it's just the gameplay is completely transformed.
The game evolved so before it could get to
stale.
I guess stale, right?
Yeah.
I think
and they knew that. They saw that. They saw that with the God of War Ascension. They're like, okay, it's getting kind of stale,
Yeah, but I think they need to do the same thing with Gears. I think it just needs a facelift.
I think it's time for a little bit of a gameplay change, maybe.
Yep.
But I don't know what that would be.
But other than that, there's nothing really that caught my eye. I'm kind of going through. I don't want to, because we have a lot to talk about. I don't want to do like an hour and a half long podcast of like everything that they talk about. I'm just kind of going over my highlights and takeaways that got me excited or concerned. But that's basically it for Inside Xbox for me.
Stadia. I just want to talk about Stadia in general.
Right, lead the way.
Is that not? No. You're like, so Stadia, we still don't really actually know how it performs, do we?
No.
They say that you need to have what is it? A 10 megabit per second connection for 1080p, or no? Or is it 20? I know I think the max is like 35 for 4. It's 35 for 4K.
35 for 4K, and it's 35 for 10 to 15 for 1080p.
1080p,
right?
But I mean, so I guess I did a little bit of research on it, and they're saying people were like worried about the input lag because you're hitting a button, it has to go through the internet to that computer, then back to your internet, and then all that stuff. And they're saying that that they've designed for that, and the controller that it comes with or something is a big alleviator of that. And the input lag. hold on, one more thing. Stadia is its own ecosystem. So you're only playing, if you're playing Destiny 2 online Crucible with people, you're only playing with people on Stadia. There's no cross play. It's not a PC platform. It's technically PC, but it's its own ecosystems of PCs. So I guess that makes it like okay in terms of competitive, because at least everyone has the same problem as you. Everyone's input lag is the same, essentially. You know?
Oh, we all have problems. Oh, you're on Stadia. Oh, I am too. This input lag sucks.
Exactly. So, but I mean, at the same time, it's like it could be very attractive if everything is fiber optic internet. But right now, I mean,
here's the thing with Stadia, though. Here's a different viewpoint. Like as far as the internet and stuff, like we're just not ready. The providers still cap people's internet, stuff like that. Because I mean, out here, I have AT&T. I have 1 terabyte or 1 gigabyte internet per second. So I have like fiber fast as you can get it.
Gigabit.
But I have like the fastest you can get, the one whatever, fast as shit, right? So I'm not worried about it. I don't have any caps or anything like that. But I know people in Illinois that I talk to, like stuff like that. They have data caps for like Comcast. People in you know, cities out here will have Comcast have caps, and AT&T's got caps depending on what package you get. That's an issue. But my main concern is that I like to collect games. I like to get physical games. So the fact that you got to pay a subscription service per month. That's not like per year that it's like for Xbox or PS4, right? It's what, $10 a month or free for the basic, and then $10 a month for the 4K one, right? But then you also got to pay for the games, which you don't even own. You're paying for access to that game, which could be pulled any second. Is concerning because if you look at Google's past history for stuff that they've started that didn't work out, they shut that shit down real fast, right? Like remember what was
they probably issue refunds.
Remember Google Plus? Yeah, like that didn't make it, and they shut that down. They shut down like Google Sheets, or I forgot what it was called. There's a few programs they have a history of just terminating because they just didn't, pan out for them money wise. So that's just a huge concern, and I don't think. I mean, some word behind the show floor was that the input lag was real. Samurai Shodown, the game that they showed on the show floor or their little presentation. There was a lot of people influencers and stuff that were there covering that game on Stadia, and they said that there was an 8 millisecond lag time, at least minimum. And they said that it was affecting their gameplay. And then they let the developers know, and the developers did what developers do, and they ended up correcting it down to at least 4 per second. So,
but I wonder that's also still on their own internet ecosystem. That's in their test. Yeah. That's in their test lab, and then plus the TVs have their own.
And they're supposed to be showing that shit off.
Yeah.
So. It's just a concern, and I think that our ecosystem of internet and stuff that we have now is just not viable enough for it yet. And like the problem is that I forgot who the guy running this whole thing is. The guy who's heading this whole Google Stadia thing, the president. He said that a couple things. Number one, he said that the providers, because people were like, well, what about data caps? My provider doesn't provide data caps. How is this even going to work for Stadia? Because you'll burn through it in a week.
Right, because you're streaming a game, a crazy big game. These games are 40 gigs, and you're streaming this data over, to
in his words were like, oh, don't worry, the ISP internet service providers will take care of their customers. They'll adjust to the market. And I'm like, you want to rely on Comcast or AT&T or Frontier or Spectrum, whatever you have in your area, to take care of you as a customer. They don't give a fuck about you.
Look, I don't know how possible this would have been, but if they actually included their own internet service with Stadia, then I think they would destroy, because
they got Google Fiber.
No, I know, but I'm saying, but Google Fiber's had its problems in terms of where it's like they've run into legal battles with Comcast over Google Fiber.
Oh yeah.
But if they could beat out Comcast and they could provide you with Google Fiber then you get Stadia included in that internet package, then that would be amazing, I think.
I feel like they'll do that at some point when because I don't think this Google Stadia is going to do very well at all. There's too much negativity surrounding it.
Here's another issue with it. I mean, you're streaming something that's 4K. It looks different when you stream something that's 4K as opposed to when you render it directly to your 4K monitor or TV. It's not going to be as crisp when you're streaming it. It's going to be better, sure, because it's still 4K, but you're going to be able to tell a difference if, like the hardcore gamers out there like having their PCs that they built from the ground up to run these impressive games. and to see them in their full glory, you know?
And, well, the thing is that it's going to be 4K 60 frames per second, but what's the actual settings like? Because I looked at the Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Right, is it going to be ultra or is it going to be high?
Remember they showed Assassin's Creed Odyssey side to side with like the PC version and then the Stadia version, and yeah, they're running 60 frames than 4K, but the resolutions were noticeably more muddy on the Stadia. So it's like they're running everything on medium, you know?
Well, it's because again, that's also attributed to they're streaming a stream.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's going to get downgraded again, as opposed to you're streaming the live render. The live render is going to look better initially. So
yeah, and the way they're touting how Stadia is going to work is that they're like, oh, you know, you can play your stuff anywhere on your cell phone or on your tablet, whatever. But the thing is that you got to have hella good internet to be able to stream any of that stuff.
If you have 5G, maybe 5G, probably you could do it.
They're touting it like you're going to be able to go sit at Starbucks with your tablet and play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and that's not going to happen because Starbucks is like 1.5 megabyte per second internet.
And even if you're using your 5G or 4G internet off of your cell phone provider, that's capped too to a certain, like you have technically unlimited internet, but they cap your speed at a certain point. So you'll be playing Assassin's Creed, and then all of a sudden it's gonna be like, we're sorry, we knocked you down to 2G because you used your data limit already. We'll bump you up when the traffic is lighter, and then you're like, well, I can't play my game.
Yeah, and then I think there's just gonna be.
That's when you pull out your Switch and you play The Witcher 3.
Yeah, The Witcher 3. Like I like the idea of Stadia is cool because it's like, oh, Rich, I'm gonna fly up to you and I'm gonna go hang out at your house. All I gotta do is bring my little Google Chromecast Ultra, right, and my little Stadia controller, and I'm good. Like that's cool. Or just bring my tablet and I'll stream it to my tablet and play at your house. Where like that's cool, but like how often do people do that nowadays? You know, everything's online. Like meet online, and it's like I don't see the appeal for it. Having everything in one server is cool, but again, you don't own all the stuff. And the biggest problem with Stadia is the cost, dude, because we all want 4K, we all want the best value.
Hold on, let me look up right now exactly. I want to break down because it costs what, $129.
Well, I already did.
Okay.
So I did some math, right? I did some math while you were making your point, and so I adjusted it to the console life cycle, right? So the console life cycle is what, 8 years? So 8-year console life cycle, right? So I did $10 times 12 months out of the year, times 8, right? So the cost of just paying for Google Stadia alone for the next 8 years is $960. That's 2 consoles, right? 2 next generation consoles you'll be able to buy. Plus the $129.99 for the actual Stadia, which is $1,090. And that's not including the games, right? And on top of that,
I didn't know you had to buy the individual games still, because I saw the commercial, I saw the presentation at Gamescom, and they said, I guess the $129.99 and the controller gets you Destiny 2, but that's it then, I guess, right? It gets you all of Destiny 2.
And yeah, you know how Xbox Live gives you, and PS4, you know, PSN gives you games. 3 to 4 free games a month. Stadia is probably more. Some of them give you like 6 games a month now, like Xbox. But Stadia is giving you. He said in a statement, the president, right? He said in a statement, give or take 1 game a month, whatever that means. I don't know what the give or take means, but we may or may not get a free game every month. Is what that means.
So we'll give you 1 or 0.
Yeah, 1 or 0, maybe, give or take. We'll see, right? That's all he had to say about it. And I was like, give or take? What the fuck does that mean? You're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. So I don't know, and like they're announcing Cyberpunk for Stadia, and like they announced Darksiders Genesis I think it was a timed exclusive. So like they have, it just seems like a glorified server port machine at this point, kind of like a Switch, but Switch is way more portable.
But
so it just I don't see the sense of Stadia really existing in this ecosystem of games. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. And the fact that they didn't, the thing for me was I was really hoping that Stadia would come out and address their, you know, everyone's concerns with Stadia, all the ones that we just talked about. But they literally didn't address any concerns with Stadia at all during their presentation. Do you notice that? Not a single one. Yeah, they didn't talk about. It was just it just seemed like a very out of touch presentation. Like they're just kind of like pretending none of that stuff exists. You know. And it was just, it didn't, that's, honestly, I tuned out after the first couple trailers. I was like, all right, seen this already, this is going to be on Xbox, this is going to be on PS4, it's going to be on PC. And then I was just like listening to the presentation while doing some work on my computer. And nothing caught my eye, except for GYLT is the exclusive that they have. It's called Guilt, GYLT.
Guilt.
Guilt. Yeah, it looks all right.
I didn't see that.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's all that really they had to show that was unique besides Cyberpunk and just in Darksiders Genesis.
Right. So like I could see the appeal for it, being able to run high-end games without having to pay the high-end cost. Because what you're saying, that $1,000, that's like, that or whatever it is, that's about what you would need to build a high-end gaming PC to run everything in 4K 60 frames. I mean, or 4K 60 frames, probably medium to high settings, because the graphics card, the ray tracing cards are ridiculously priced right now. But yeah, so I mean, but then at the same time, like if you're going to spend that much money anyway, just get a console.
Exactly.
And you don't have to worry. Like even if the internet's down, you can still play the single player game.
Yeah, you can get a next gen console and a Switch for that amount of money. Maybe two next gen consoles, depending on how much they are, around $500-$600. Like, I don't know, man. And it just seems like, especially with how the graphical fidelity and frame rates and stuff, these next gen consoles are going to be pushing out. It just kind of makes Stadia irrelevant at this point. And what the biggest concern I have is that they're not even hosting a beta for anybody who's getting the Founders Edition, anything. They're not hosting a beta. What they literally said was they're just like they're basically just literally banking on people being like, well, let's try it out and hope it works. Thanks for paying. Let's just hope it works fine. And like, there's no beta for it at all, and that's just unacceptable.
And yeah, I read that I think you can use your own controller with it, but they say that it will increase the input lag.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I read.
Flags,
so
man. There's too many red flags. I was excited when they first announced it, and then I started looking into the fine print of it. And once they released more details of how it works, and I started doing some research about internet capabilities, stuff like that, I was like, there's way too many red flags around this thing for it to be a viable source of gaming for anybody, especially for 1,090.
At least until internet is widely connected everywhere and the speeds are all consistently like 1 gigabit everywhere. Once there's universal gigabit speeds, even in the most remote locations in the country, then I think that it would be a viable tool, and it would make sense at that point. But right now, I don't know. I don't see it working. It's cool that they're doing it because somebody needs to do it, but I think that they were a little too early on it.
Yeah. So that was my Stadia. I left very bored and just disgusted with the Stadia one, honestly, because I was hoping I want it to be cool because it's competition, and the more stuff gamers have, we win. You can't really have too much gaming, but at the same time, it just looks like it's gonna be another Ouya. Remember Ouya?
Oh, but that was just an Android box.
It feels like it's just gonna be another thing that comes and goes,
Yeah.
Like Ouya, they were touting Ouya to be like, oh shit, Ouya, it's gonna be like portable because it's tiny, blah blah blah. And then it came out and was like, pfft. So we'll see. But then we come to opening night live. I know you've been on the edge of your seat wanting to talk about opening night live, Rich.
Well, I mean, I saw Jeff Keighley.
Yeah.
We got to meet Jeff Keighley at E3. That was really cool. And that was like right there. I was like, whoa, that's Jeff Keighley.
He's short. He's tiny.
Yeah, he's short. And I remember seeing this girl on stage talking with him, and she was shorter than him. Like that girl was like 4'8".
Yeah. The girl who plays Erica.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. But there's so many cool things. Like, I mean, I just want to talk about Death Stranding though.
Yeah. So let's just fucking jump into it. So the cool thing about I thought it was really cool that Jeff
delivery boy.
What do you mean?
You're a delivery boy in that game.
Oh, okay, yeah. Delivery boy. I thought it was really cool
boy.
That Jeff Keighley, this was the first ever opening night live for Gamescom that Jeff Keighley hosted. Basically, it was like an appetizer for the Game Awards. And I think it's really cool. I think they're going to be doing these yearly now because at the end of the presentation, he's like, "Did you all like it? Should we do it again next year? I think we should." So I think it's cool because I feel like they're kind of all straying away from E3 because of what E3 kind of represents at this point with the ESA and everything like that. And I think and it's a really good indie showcase for developers as well, better than E3 is. So I think I feel like they're pulling away from E3, and I think they're going to try to get people to Gamescom and get Jeff Keighley to host it every year, which I'm totally down with.
That's a great idea though, because then you just have somebody up there on stage just hosting, the whole thing, showing all these different games from different developers and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's not cringy that way, It's not.
And people talk shit about Jeff Keighley for whatever reason. I love Jeff Keighley. I mean, I think that he's people have said he's a jerk, blah blah blah. And I'm like, dude, the dude's what the dude's been through? Like, he's been through a lot of shit. Like, he's a businessman, right? So, and I love that he's no matter what's happened, like at G4 when he didn't work at G4 anymore, when game trailers went down, he's always stuck with the industry and didn't go to journalism, work Wall Street, anything like that, or get a regular job. He always stuck with the gaming industry because he genuinely has a passion for the games industry. So I was pumped when they announced that he was doing an opening night live. Like he brought the Game Awards, right? Like he's always doing stuff. He's always taking initiative in the game industry to keep pushing it mainstream, get it on cable, And I really like that about Jeff Keighley. So I love Jeff Keighley. I was pumped when he hosted it, but I hope they do these yearly, and I hope it turns into a bigger thing every year because I like that it was really focused on gameplay, and he knew that too. In his little intro, he's just like, we're gonna show hella gameplay. You guys want gameplay, right? Because that's all we're doing, And he just and they just went straight into it. So, but we'll talk about the elephant in the room.
Lots of cool stuff.
Lots of cool stuff, Rich. But elephant in the room, Death Stranding, go.
Death Stranding, Delivery Boy. Oh my
Delivery
goodness.
Boy.
I still don't know what the game's about. I mean, I know that you're a delivery boy, and can you go across the whole United States? They showed a map of the whole United States at one point.
I don't know. Maybe you just go from it's like level to level hopping or something.
I don't know, but I mean, they showed the whole United States, and you were like, all right, you delivered this area, and these nodes are like whatever. I'm like, you go.
Maybe it's like the crew. Yeah,
okay. And then Jeff Keighley was in Death Stranding, but it was a different voice, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
So just use him. I don't know why.
He's probably a terrible actor.
maybe possible.
But now you can pee on command.
Oh yeah.
And it tells you how many milliliters of piss you have, and then it actually affects the environment. Did he say something about like there's some kind of multiplayer element where if you pee, or maybe I mistook what he said, but because he's like, can't you use pee as a weapon in a sense? And he's like, well, you can pee on certain mushrooms or foliage. And if you pee, he said, if players continue to pee on the same mushroom, for example, like in the video, that mushroom will grow and you can use it for stuff. That's what he said.
Oh my God.
So I was like, wait a minute.
I saw it.
Does he mean like players as in like if I keep peeing in the same spot in the game? Or did he mean players as in like players around the world, kind of like No Man's Sky before they came out with the multiplayer update, where you're in a similar universe and can affect each other's universe, but not really in the game, if that makes sense? So I was like, So we'll see. I think it's going to be straight single player, though. Maybe I just mistook.
But can you take a deuce?
Can you pee on people?
No, a deuce.
Can you pee on babies?
If you can't go number 2, then I don't like it anymore.
Oh, yeah. If you can't go number 2, I'm not pre-ordering. Nope.
Yeah. No. That's what my girlfriend said. She saw it. She's like, but can you go number 2? So if you can't, then there's no point.
No sale. I love Jeff Keighley's man crush on Kojima, too. They're like best buds, He's always so hype. I like that too about Jeff Keighley. He supported, Kojima through the whole Konami bullshit. And I remember watching live the Game Awards, what was it, a couple years ago, when he was talking about Kojima won an award and he was not able to, Konami wouldn't let him come accept the Metal Gear Solid award that he got. Dumb. And he replayed that message. I was like, yeah, fuck Konami. And everyone stood up for him, gave him a standing ovation. It's almost cult-like. It's crazy. He's got like this huge cult following, but the cult following is like the entire industry. So it's pretty crazy.
Right.
But Death Stranding looks cool. Still don't know shit about it. Don't know what it's about. I'm excited, but I'm still concerned. But in a concerned in a way that it's not like, oh my God, what if this game sucks? It's like, what the hell is this game? Is it a walking simulator? Am I gonna fight people? Like I know I saw some in the footage. There's fighting. He was fighting with like a staff or something, right? Yeah, but I'm just wondering, like, what the hell are you doing in this game? Like, he says it's a new genre.
It looks like it was like some trailers have been like, oh, it's clearly an action title. Oh, it's clearly a horror game. Oh, you're a UPS guy. Like it.
Oh, it's not horror or action. It's its own genre, Stranding genre. He calls it the Stranding genre.
The Stranding genre.
The Stranding genre.
I think only Hideo Kojima could do that at this point.
I know. And whether or not the game appeals to me or not, I'm gonna buy it just to simply support Kojima because I fucking love Metal Gear Solid, and I know you like Metal Gear Solid, right?
Oh yeah.
You love Metal because we've done our conspiracy theory talks. Oh yeah, with J-Bone and the old podcast.
By the way, J-Bone wants to do a podcast with us, so
I know I've been texting him every day.
Maybe we could have him
year.
Maybe we could have him in one of these days, but he's got to get the whole video set up through Discord. We can do it.
Yep. So so we'll see. But otherwise, there was that they showed Need for Speed Heat gameplay.
It's Need for Speed Heat.
I think it's another Gears 5 thing, genre that's just kind of getting stale. And I think they burned people too many times with the last couple Need for Speeds. Payback was awful. Like
I haven't played a Need for Speed.
And I talked about that in my I talked about that in my Need for Speed Heat reveal. But Heat looks like it's gonna be better, but at the same time, it looks like another racing game. I don't know. We'll see. I don't have any excitement over that. Everspace 2.
Everspace
cool.
2. That looks pretty cool. Disintegration? Is that what that game is?
Yeah, from the Halo developers.
The Halo developer. That looks cool. Yeah. Actually, it actually looked. It did look kind of like Halo, but you're in that. You're in that.
It was like Halo and Destiny's hybrid, baby.
Yeah, but is it 4-player co-op, or is it only the pilot?
Yeah, it looks like it. It looked
like there's one guy that's flying. You know, everyone's gonna want to be that guy.
You know what, Rich? I'm gonna Google it.
All right, do it. But it looked cool. They showed gameplay. They showed a little bit of humor, a little bit of comedy, which was good.
Disintegration multiplayer. Halo co-creator shows off Disintegration, a new team-based multiplayer ... game. Okay, so there is multiplayer.
Sweet.
Out in 2020. PC, Xbox, PS4.
That's exciting.
So we'll see.
I mean, it looked pretty cool. It's got destructible environments, which from what I saw, things were exploding, houses were being destroyed. So it's like Halo combined with Battlefield.
It looks a lot like Destiny or / Anthem with the health bars and like the grindy ads and stuff. So it looks pretty cool. We'll see. I hope they do it right. I feel like it's the guys who left after Destiny 1 and 2 and they wanted to do it properly. So they left and we're making Disintegration now. So we'll
speaking of Destiny, Cross Save comes out today. I think it's out in like 39 minutes.
Are you going to make a video of how to, or did you say you're going to make a video of how to do cross save?
Yeah, I wanted to do that, but I mean, we're going to be doing the stream right after this, so...
Yeah, maybe we can do it in between or something.
Maybe.
Figure something out. But yeah, then you had Predator Hunting Grounds.
I didn't see that. Predator Hunting Grounds? No.
I don't know.
This is what happens when you just catch up.
Predator, yeah, I was like, a Predator game. And then they showed the gameplay.
It's not good, is it?
And I was like...
What is it? Is it like... top down.
It's like what's that monster game that came out where there's one big monster and 4 people trying to take down the monster? Remember? Evolve.
Oh, yeah,
it's like Evolve. Except you're fighting. You're 4 players, I believe, and you're fighting. I don't know if they're other players or NPCs like humans, but you're also being hunted by a predator. So it's like PvPvE in a sense, or PvEVP. Like there's one predator, 4 players, and some ads. You know, and I don't know. It just, I mean, the game looked like ass. I'll just say it. It just looked like dog shit. So I don't know. It looks like it's gonna come out and just be very forgettable. 6 out of 10. I feel 6 out of 10. That's my prediction.
Heard it here first. Yeah. Reviewed already. 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. So we're gonna put that in the. We should put that in the caption for the video, the title, and we talk Stadia, Inside Xbox, Nintendo, Opening Up Live, and Predator Hunting Grounds review.
That's already not. It's not even going to show. It's not even going to show in the thing until like no. It's already.
I'm gonna give it a fair shot. I'm gonna give it a fair shot because I love Predator and I hope it's a cool concept, but the execution just looks very mediocre. So
where's the next Alien game? Didn't Alien Isolation do well? I don't understand.
Yeah, I think Alien Isolation came to Switch or is coming to Switch.
Oh wait, there's another Alien game coming out, right?
There's another Alien game that Fox
AAA title.
I think is, yeah, there's a triple. They didn't announce anything, but
yeah,
I think it's still very early in concept phase.
So there was a game that reminded me of like Mirror's Edge combined with Dishonored. What was that? Like Ghost Warrior or something? Ghost Runner. Did you see it? You have a sword and you're like running off of walls and you like assassinate people really quick. First person.
See that.
Look it up. It's pretty sweet.
What was it called?
I think it's like Ghost Warrior or Ghost Runner, one of the two.
Ghost of Tsushima?
No, Ghost of Tsushima is the PlayStation exclusive.
Tsushima?
It's a PC game. It's coming to PC.
Really?
Yeah.
I got nothing.
You got nothing. That's not good. Hold on.
What about Erica? You gonna play Erica? That seems like a Rich and his girlfriend game.
Oh wow.
I don't like those games. I really liked Heavy Rain. Like those story-driven games where if you fuck up one thing, you screw the whole game up, or you change the course and you can't go back type of thing. Like I liked Heavy Rain when I played it, but it was so stressful. And after I was done with Heavy Rain, I couldn't do any of the other games like that because I was just so stressed out about it. But it was pretty cool. But Erica looked all right. I like the actress. She was in Cuckoo or however you say it on Netflix. So she's a really good actress.
Never seen that.
On Netflix. It's like a comedy with Adam, what's his face from I'm on a boat crew.
Oh, I'm on a boat.
I'm on a boat. Yeah, but
hold on,
the
I'm
Cycle.
trying to find this game.
There's
Orcs
a game
Must
called
Die
The Cycle.
3.
Orcs Must Die 3. That's a wasn't that a Stadia exclusive or time exclusive or reveal? I remember they showed it for. Yeah, I like Orcs Must Die, but we'll see how that game is. There's a game called The Cycle coming out though that looked pretty cool. That's the game that they said it was. That might be what you're talking about. PvPvE. It's like there was a guy running around. It was a first-person shooter. It looks kind of like Halo in a sense.
No, this isn't a shooter. It's not a shooter. It's called Ghost something. I know it's called Ghost something.
I googled Gamescom Ghost and I got nothing.
Hold on. Hold. Well, anyway, we could talk. Oh, and they showed Avengers gameplay too, right?
Yeah, they showed Avengers actually off the show floor. They showed it, or not on the show floor, but off like today. I think they showed it, or yesterday night. Not in a presentation. It was 18 minutes. I actually watched it this morning. It was the first thing I did when I woke up because I got a notification that said Avengers gameplay 18 minutes, and I was like, oh shit. So I checked it out, and it looks okay. I'm excited. I want it to be good.
I don't know what about it. It looks good.
It looks like a very handholdy, very very linear. I like linear games, but that's like very linear to where it's literally almost telling you exactly what to do. Like you're watching a long cutscenes, and then you land, and then you fight baddies, and then you go to the next part, watch another cutscene, fight some more baddies, and then it pulls you out to Iron Man or whoever character you're playing next, and then you do his little flying simulator. It just looks very. It doesn't look like there's any replayability, and the combat looks really clunky and slow, and I mean, and the way that they're doing multiplayer isn't the way that we all thought it was going to be. They talked about it kind of like it was like a live service like Destiny or something, but how it's working is the multiplayer is kind of like remember the Spec Ops mode in Call of Duty? I think it was Modern Warfare 2 or 3 had the Spec Ops co-op missions where like you would do certain quick objectives and stuff. Well, how the multiplayer works is it's not campaign multiplayer or open world. There's side missions, kind of like the Spec Ops mode that have their own little mini stories. And you can choose whatever Avenger you want, and then you level up that individual person, kind of like Ultimate Alliance 3. And then that's how you acquire new skins and stuff for that person the more you play them. But it feels like it's going to be kind of grindy, like with doing the same missions with different characters or the same character to level them up. There's going to be a handful of side missions, so it's not real co-op. And then the campaign itself just doesn't look like it's very replayable. It looks like it'll be fun for a first round through, but it doesn't look like it's going to be like the production value is really high. It just doesn't look like it's going to be a $60 game. You know,
it's just, I don't know. Something about it is just it just doesn't. I don't know why. It's just like there's games that it is called Ghost Runner, by the way.
Ghost Runner. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, how did I not write that game in my notes?
The trailer. I mean, sweet. It looked pretty cool. So yeah. I don't know what it exactly is about. I don't know if it's going to be like an open world or if it's going to be mission based or whatever. But the gameplay looks really solid. Yeah. But back to Avengers really quick. I don't know, something about it just doesn't seem exciting. I don't know why.
I know.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe it's because I've seen all of the movies now, and it's like I know what they can do in those movies, and I'm comparing it to the game. And
it just doesn't look like they're just like big, lazy superheroes, kind of the way that they fight. Because you're on the ground for most of them, right? Unless you're Iron Man flying around, but it's the same. He flies around with his hand going pew pew, and then you dodge stuff, which we've done in a million other games. But like when you land and you're just fighting with like Thor, or you're fighting with Black Widow, or the Hulk, it just kind of looks so just. You know what I think? All the quick time events and all.
You know what I think they messed up on?
Slow. Huh.
I think it's kind of like the uncanny valley with like CGI effects, in terms of like we know these heroes, but it's not them in this game. It's not the heroes we've seen in the cinematic universe. So we're like, we know it's Thor, but we know that Thor is this guy because we've seen him for many years. Also, I think they kind of messed up the allocation because when I saw Captain America's gameplay, I was like, that actually looks fun. He's actually fighting people, hitting them with the shield, knocking them around. Yeah. It makes sense. When I see Thor fighting people, I just don't think Thor should be fighting ground troops. I think they should switch you to Thor when it's like this impossible, like giant Titan that comes up out of the ground or something, Like Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow should all fight ground troops. Hulk, Thor, should be fighting.
The god of thunder should be fighting massive armies or massive beasts.
Yeah, magnificent enemies. Like crazy, like feats.
Like
of
when he came in, like an Endgame when he came in after he got his lightning back, and he comes in and he just starts fucking shit up. Or was that Infinity War?
Down.
That was Infinity War, right? That was Infinity War. When he came in and he just started going nuts. Like that's Thor. That's Thor at heart.
Yeah, like, exactly. So when I see him like focusing on one guy and hitting him in the air, hitting him, he would hit him once with that hammer and he'd be missed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
bye. Like he's a super hero. That's like Superman fighting ground troop, like bank robbers. You know, that's kind of what that's like. So it doesn't make any sense. But like I could see Iron Man, or not Iron Man. I mean, Iron Man.
I could see Iron Man
Captain
still
America,
fighting
Black Widow, Hawkeye.
Exactly. You know, and then
the Hulk fighting a mass amount of people in tanks.
Oh yeah, exactly. I feel like it should have kind of gone like if you're playing as the Hulk or if you're playing as Thor, it should take like a prototype vibe where you just like annihilating like the whole city. You know what I mean? But I think what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, I hope that if they add Spider-Man in, they just add the Peter Parker they've already created, because
from what it looks like. Wait, I don't know if is this game play is all those characters though. I think they're only allowing you to play as those four: Hulk, Captain America, Black Widow.
And actually, never mind. Thor. Now that I think about it, Spider-Man's a PS4 exclusive, so they're not going to give him that character, right? Because Avengers is coming out on every platform, right? So
I mean, it is Crystal Dynamics, right? Who did Tomb Raider is doing this game, and Square Enix again,
and
they know what they're doing. But dude, from just what I've seen, like. This 18-minute gameplay trailer was supposed to be like the next level of like them being like, check this game out. And I was watching it and I was just like, this looks so just like sitting on a couch with a controller. It just looks so that millennial console-y, if that makes any sense. Like you're sitting on the couch with a controller, half paying attention, just kind of going like this and, killing things. You're following the straight line they want you to follow, and then auto jumping over the red ramps. When Hulk was doing it, he was auto jumping over the red ramps that were at the end of each thing. So it tells you, oh, you gotta jump here. I'm just so it kind of reminds dude. It's just like
it's like Knack.
Yeah,
it's like Knack, but with Avengers in it.
Yeah, or the new Tomb Raiders where there's white or yellow paint on the walls so you know where to shimmy and shit, and it's just like
it's like that's not what it is in real life. There's not bird poop everywhere for me to know that I have to climb here.
But there was that, and then FIFA 20 looked like it just nobody gave a shit. You notice that? He's like, oh, FIFA 20. Jeff Keighley was like, FIFA 20, and then everyone was kind of like,
world premiere.
Ooh. Yeah. And then he's like, come on guys, FIFA 20. Like he like redid it, and they're like, ooh. So that was funny. I was laughing when he did that. But Oddworld Soulstorm is an Epic Game Store exclusive. The Epic Game Store had their little moment with their little showcase that was really quick, and he looked kind of annoyed about that too. He's just like, Epic Game Store, everybody, here we go. And he just like they did their thing because of all the drama surrounding Epic EGS. But Oddworld Soulstorm got like a quick 10 seconds. Like I think it was one of the first games that was showed in the little snippet that EGS had. And I love Oddworld because I grew up on Oddworld for like PlayStation, I think 1.
That's such a weird game.
And and then like when he prays like it was really cool. So I was like, oh shit, another Oddworld. And then it showed Epic Games exclusive, and I was like, but
I feel like that's how they're losing money.
Yeah,
like I don't know, but I don't know what Steam charges people. I mean, there's a reason why people are trying to create their own stores. It's because maybe Steam is trying to gouge them too much.
Steam takes a much higher commission rate than Epic Game Store does, but it also has a lot more features than Epic Game Store.
It also has a wider audience. How many people are on Steam?
This is like a whole different video, but the baseline argument for Epic Game Store versus Steam is that Epic Game Store has 5% of the features Steam has, but people are defending Epic Game Store like, well, it's a new platform, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, if they came out with a 2019 Honda Civic, that 2019 Honda Civic is going to have what every other Honda Civic had before it as far as safety features, right? And features going forward. They're not going to release a 2019 with not power windows, with rolling windows,
with
right?
2011 features.
2011 fucking safety features. Like they're going to release something that's current up to par. And like that's not what Epic Game Store did. Yet Epic Game Store is poaching these developers from Steam and not offering refunds for some of them, like fucking Shenmue, which I would never touch ever. And they're just killing community goodwill, and they're just showing that they are completely anti-consumer. They're not pro-consumer, especially the fact that they don't allow user reviews, and they're not going to on any of the games because they feel like it hurts the developers. So let me ask you a question, Rich. If you're going to buy, let's say, a new headset, like the one you're wearing now breaks, right? And you're like, let's check Amazon. Let's see what Amazon's got. And now Amazon wasn't allowing you to, I mean, you buy your headsets, you read the reviews, right? What people are saying about it first, because you want to make sure that you're not going to buy some broken piece of shit or some cheap knockoff, right? Epic Game Store is not allowing people to review stuff. So you're going to be buying games that could be broken pieces of shit.
That's dumb because
it's the same thing as Amazon not doing it. Yeah, people go on Amazon for the reviews, you know?
Right. But the problem is, I mean, look, I understand the whole review thing, but the how you fix that is you only make it so that when they have to create an account, obviously, and that account has to have registered purchasing the game, and then you can allow that person to submit a review. I think a big issue is anybody can go on Metacritic and review a game, and they don't even own it.
Yeah, true.
You know,
so I mean, Steam does that. Steam has verified purchase. You know, it's a verified purchaser.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think
Best Buy
Metacritic
has
should
that.
Actually, have you verified that you purchased the game, because there are people out there that review it like an hour after it's launched, and they're like 0 out of 10, and it's like no game deserves a 0. Every game, no matter what, deserves at least a 1 because somebody still worked to make it.
Well,
there's still value there.
The way that they're arguing not having reviews is that they're like, oh, because we want to stop review bombing. And I'm like, well, review bombing only happens because Steam doesn't give anybody gamers another way to voice their opinion on stuff, so they have to review bomb to get the developer's attention, you know? So yeah, review bombing is probably not the best way to go about it, but at the same time, there is no other way to go about it at this point, you know? They could have another review section where they have like customer concerns, you know, and then people go in there and they post their concerns. But I think that's a shitty reason. I think it's just an excuse for why they're not really doing, you know, reviews. But it's just such an inferior platform in every way. And so every time I see some Epic Game Store, like a little street or a little like the little thing they were doing, and you can see it in Jeff Keighley's face too. He was just kind of like ugh about it. It just doesn't ring any bells for me at all. But yeah. Opening night live. Those are my takeaways. It was pretty cool. It was more stuff that we'd kind of already seen announced with a couple others like the Cycle and Disintegration, which looks really cool. This actually makes me more excited for the next Gamescom next year. I think it's going to be bigger, and I think there's going to be a lot more to show because I think it was very successful.
People might wait to show their stuff until Gamescom and not really so much E3, you know?
Yeah, we'll see. And I like it. I like that it's becoming a main thing now that they're going to do, because then you have E3, and then 2 months later you have Gamescom, and then 2 months later you're gonna have Game Awards, and then Tokyo Game Show. When's Tokyo Game Show? January, February, or something, or
something
March?
Like that. I don't know exactly when it is.
Look it up because now I'm curious.
But there's a rumor that the PS5 is going to be announced in September next year.
So yeah, Tokyo Game Show is September 15th, where they're going to show more Death Stranding.
Did you hear what I said though?
What?
There's a rumor that PS5 is going to be announced next February.
For release date?
It's just going to be announced. I don't know.
Oh.
Like they're dropping it.
There was another rumor that it was going to be released in February, which would coincide with their other releases because the other PS3, PS4, I think, released in February.
So then you think they would announce it at Tokyo Game Show? That's
maybe, but there's no hype around it right now as far as that. But I don't know. That's a rumor. I think they're going to do holiday 2020, you know? But I don't know.
PS5
so
be
crazy,
a lot of stuff, which means
hidden.
Ghost of Tsushima is probably going to be a PS5 title.
Oh yeah, it'll be.
I don't think that was even. I'm not even sure if that was running on a PS4 Pro at the gameplay demo.
I think it'll be both. It'll be a PS4/PS5. You know,
maybe.
Probably. Cyberpunk.
Maybe. So I don't know. We'll see.
Or Google Stadia, yeah.
Google Stadia. It's a PS4. It's a Sony exclusive. No. All right, but I think that's pretty much it, right? I mean, we obviously couldn't touch on everything that happened at Gamescom. It's still going on right now, but
yeah, we got those
are like the main things.
We're about to do a stream, and then eventually our first co-op review of Remnant from the Ashes, which would be like a discussion video / review, which will be interesting.
We're gonna figure out how to edit that. Yeah, we'll figure that'll
be fun.
Out.
So we'll try new things. But yeah, so we're gonna get ready to do a stream. Yeah, we're gonna get ready to do a stream co-op through Remnant from the Ashes. So stay tuned for that.
Dark Souls with guns, Bloodborne.
Yeah. There'll be more Gamescom news announced over the next few days. So we'll see what comes out of that. So this is our overview of the Gamescom Day 1 conferences. So other than that, that's all I got. Rich, you got anything else?
Nope. That's it. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks for watching / listening, and we'll see you on the next TG podcast or whatever we do. Talk gaming.